trying the 1 hour. I want to try to speak for 1 hour from 6 to 7. I don't know whether I've never really done it before, but I hope that this is the first time because one of my partners in this channel has requested me to speak for 1 hour. I don't know whether it will save itself on my channel, but I don't know. I'll just try and for 1 hour to see what will happen. Will the channel break down or something? I want to see what will happen because it's just about pushing the limits. And within that 1 hour, I will say everything that I wanted to say. Before I start, welcome to this channel. We are still reading the scripture. But of course, I want to say something that really I saw, and I want to talk about it. Okay, sometimes let's forget about let's just talk. So, I remember sometime last week, a reverend from Nairobi, I will not name her, she came here, she landed in the stadium with a chopper. And even before she set her foot, there was a red carpet waiting for her. Just for me in Nairobi, there was a red carpet waiting for her. I will not name her. And then, between the chopper and the cars, there were many bodyguards, and there was a Range Rover waiting. There was a Land Cruiser waiting, and there are so many luxurious cars waiting for her. And I remember we were having this conversation with some friends. They were saying that the men and the women of God, they are living large. They're eating life with a big spoon. And they wanted my opinion about that. Should a man of God a helicopter? And in fact, at that particular point, I also gave a prophecy. I said that in the next 5 years, most of these pastors in Nairobi, most of them will have helicopters. It will be their basic form of transport. It will be basic. A helicopter for them will be a basic need. And that's what I answered. And they said, "Oh, Raymond, how can you say that?" I said, what's the problem with a helicopter being a basic need? A helicopter is a form of transport like any other. But the problem is you don't need a helicopter because your job does not require you to have one. That was my answer. And then I also said, what is the problem with a man or a woman of God having a helicopter? So they said, I am supporting lavish lifestyle. I said, no. You see, if a man of God is somebody who is needed all the time, and if they have to move from one town to another with a helicopter, that is a basic need, because he has to go from Nairobi, he goes to Machakos, then he goes to Mombasa, then he goes to Malindi in just one day. He has to preach to 5 churches in one day. I think to me, I think that is efficiency. But to some, they said that is excess. That is, what can we call it? affluenza. That is the word, affluenza. You know, it's a disease of the rich people. But I said that is not true, because I also wonder, these people, these men and women of God, these people tarry in the house of prayer. They pray for you. Why shouldn't they be blessed with money? Why shouldn't they be blessed? Churches where a pastor collects more than 10 million a service, yeah. And when you hear him, he will tell you he wants to buy a helicopter, and take the message around Africa. If you want to take the message around Africa, do you need a helicopter? No, maybe you need something like a Gulfstream, a private jet, where you can just move the gospel from one place to another. But you see, we cannot look at things from that perspective, because number one, the spirit of poverty has overtaken our lives. And the worst part is that you are not aware that that spirit has overtaken your life. Are we together? When you hear somebody who wants to go to church to give an offering of 1 million, you say, you want to enrich this man. Why do you want to enrich this man of God? And you will go home without nothing. I always tell my friends that investing in God is the best investment you can ever make. Go even ask your parents. You can go and ask your mother. Go and ask your father. Go and ask them, which is the best investment? They will tell you, investing in God. So that argument of where people saying that these people do not need, they don't need to run around with a helicopter. It is against, the gospel. I don't know. It's just let the men and women of God be honored. I think that is, you see, when you work for God, God will honor you. That is one thing that I know. If you have devoted your life to the service of God, of course you will benefit. There are allowances, there are benefits from that kind of service. Are we together? Yes. So when you see a pastor having a helicopter, there's no problem. Some people, because of jealousy, because of envy, you want the men of God or the women of God to be frustrated. So that is what we are not in agreement, because some people want the gospel to be chained. But you should be on the side of these preachers so that the gospel can be flown from one country to another. Yes. The gospel, during the times of Peter, you have heard that verse. The gospel, it's even, I will look for that verse. My friends, I read the scripture the whole night. I know the Bible in and out. I can tell you where that scripture is. There's a scripture that says that the gospel has been facing violence since the times of John the Baptist. There's a verse that says that. And also Paul has said that the gospel should not be chained. I came and said the gospel should not sleep. Somebody will come and say the gospel should be flown from one country to another. It just depends on your take. Are we together? So when you say that a man of God should not have a Land Cruiser, your argument is baseless. That's a baseless argument. Because you see, these people, these men of God, these men and women of God, and today I want to even side with them. They are required to go from one area to another. They are required to go from one city to another. They don't sleep. They always attend to the problems of other people. They don't even live their lives. They don't even live their lives. They are always attending to somebody else. So when you say a man of God doesn't need a Land Cruiser or doesn't need a helicopter, this helicopter is to take the gospel from one area to another. Are we together? Yeah, it's just, let's be fair. You see, don't start throwing stones just because, you know, if you want God to bless you, why don't you do the work of God instead of throwing stones? Are we together? So let us be honest and let us be fair to these people. Don't just throw stones. Oh, they're living large. Oh, they're always spending money. Oh, all these events. Oh, I don't know. Oh, don't allow yourself to be used to slow. Don't slow the gospel. Don't do what? Don't slow the gospel. Don't slow the gospel.